What's up, everybody? We're back again with another design critique. I'm going in order of emails that I got to critique designs, so maybe yours is on here, maybe it's not. I'm not sure if some stuff got lost in the shuffle of everything, but have a good bit to go through today. So stick around and let's critique some designs. If you want your design critiqued, you can send it in to this email, and people who are patrons obviously get first dibs. If you are a G Squad member on Patreon, email me and tell me that, and I might even make you your own critique video. Always let me know if you're a patron in the email, and that way your graphics get prioritized. If you're not a Patreon, I can't promise you they'll get critiqued, but I'm going to try and get to most of them. First up, we have Justin Lorett. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Justin Lorett. And he sent in 3 card designs. So let's just look at them one by one. So I think it's like the same design. Yeah. And just kind of like 3 different layouts. What's the one in the middle? The back? Yeah, okay. So we'll put that away for now. We'll start out with the first one. So I like what we have going on here. I think it's a cool card. It looks like a realistic card, I think. I think the photo looks a little like too over edited, maybe. His skin just kind of looks a little odd. I'm not really sure what it is, or like if there's an effect, or if it's just a bunch of contrast or something. So I'd maybe dial it back a little bit. I mean, unless like you're specifically going for a certain effect, but I think here it would just look better as, you know, a plain like photo texture look. The jersey patch thing looks great. Like, it looks realistic. The bottom looks great. I like the layout of the card, the composition. It looks like a legit card for the most part. So great job there. I like the template that you use for like the card holder. So I think the background could be a little bit better. I think the background texture that's like behind the card makes it look like the card is laying like on this texture, but then your shadows make it look like it's just like sitting upright on the bottom. And I mean, the shadows could be tweaked a little bit to fix that aspect of it, but I think also if you took the background, like did a control transform, brought it down, made the background look like that. So if the card was like upright like this, and then you had like the background faded out, it's kind of hard to do on here, but let me know if that makes sense. So kind of like to go with like one or the other. So I would like either keep the shadows here so that it looks like it's upright, and then do what I did with the background and like fade it out as it goes backwards. I think that'd probably look better. Or just take the shadows that you have away and just give it like a drop shadow, like it's just laying down on this back texture. Same thing here. I think the card looks great. Like, I love everything about the design. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a legit card to me. It's hard for me to like nitpick anything about the card or the case or anything like that. So looks good. I like, you know, how you have like the 2 layout here as well. So like even this, I would maybe like lose this shadow and just put drop shadows on both of these, so it looks like they're like laying back or like laying down against that texture, and you kind of have like a top down view of them, if that makes sense. And even the like text you have over to the side would work with that. And I guess the signature too, like I don't know if you need the signature. I guess it's like a nice, just, you know, extra design element, but in this case I don't know if I'd put it on there, just because it's like a random signature that's like signed on the back wall, like versus like the signature being on the card or on the case or something. It's just like on the background, so I don't know if that, you know, makes sense, but it is what it is. Good stuff. I like the designs. Moving on to Danny Evans. Danny, thanks for sending in a design. This is pretty sick. I like the composition is pretty cool. I like you have like the 1, 2, 3. They're different sizes, so that's nice. And the text looks good. Yeah, there's a lot to like about it. The lens flare you have here, I see what you're going for, and that's like a cool thing to do, is like put it on a shoe. I just don't know if it like really works, which lens flares can be hard to get right. I've said that in other videos that I've made before. You kind of have to like have the right place to put them. They're hard to just like put where you want, if that makes sense. And they usually work well where you already have an area that's like really that has really high highlights. So if it's like a white, like if the end of his shoe is just like blown out and white almost, then that would kind of work a little bit better. Like, it's a cool thing that you've done, but I don't know if it fits in super well. So I would just try and like blend that in a little bit more. Maybe use a curves layer or an exposure layer or something, and just like brush on a little bit of light right here. Because I think it's like close, but not exactly right. Like I said, most of what you're doing looks good. I like how you've kind of like given whatever the term for it is, where you put shading around the outside of the thing. Vignette. I think that's a good idea. Kind of draws your eye to the middle, and you have like the 1, 2, 3 with the ball up here. Looks cool. The shading on the bottom of him, I think, could be worked on a little bit. I think I see what you're trying to do there too, where like the further away he is, the more shading there is, but it kind of looks a little messy and maybe a little bit too dark. So I maybe lighten that shading up a little bit and make sure it's like only on the photo you have here. And the same here, I think the shading is a little bit like too harsh. So I would probably like use a bigger, softer brush, if that makes sense. And, brush it in behind him like you have it. Just not as dark and not as like harsh of a cutoff, if that makes sense. But everything else looks good. I like how you took away like his skin color and just made it like a red and black graphic. I think that looks sick. So thanks for sending that in. Good job. Rashad Deos. I don't know. Rashad Deos. I don't know. Thanks for sending in graphics. Let's get to it. So first off, we have this Ollie Gordon graphic. Is that what it says? Yeah. This is really clean. I like the background. Ignore the like white background I have behind it. It's just a square graphic. But I like this like light and this light red that's behind the whole thing. I think that looks cool. I like the stripes you have going through the words. Everything looks really nice. I'm gonna try and zoom in here so I can nitpick some more. And even like the one color basically guys that you have in the background, like everything looks pretty clean here, which is great. I think not that it matters too much, because it's more of just like a design element here, but the I'm assuming it's OG like 2 Ollie Gordon II is what's behind him here. It's not super easy to like understand or read or know what's going on, but that's a design choice that you made, and like I might make a similar design choice in another graphic I made. So you have his name up here anyway. It doesn't necessarily need to be read. So it looks good to me. I think maybe I would just say like with the 3 different texts you have here, like they could be a little bit easier to read, but for the most part, it's fine. Yeah, I think I like it. I like what you have with like the 3 cutouts. If anything, I might like make the 2 side ones a little bit smaller and make him a little bit bigger, just to kind of differentiate a little bit. But you already did that by, making him like full color and them just like that orangey red color that's in the background. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm not sure if there's like a few areas that you just miss on the cutout, or if I'm seeing something weird, but like this white over here near his helmet could be taken out, I think. But for the most part, it's a great graphic. I like it. So not too much to edit there. The next one, SEC Champions, Alabama Crimson Tide. Looks good. There's a lot to like about it. I like how you have him on the field down here. I'm assuming that's the same, like a part of the same picture that you chose, like with this cutout and then him on the field. I like doing that too. Like I think that's a good, clean idea that I use a lot. I don't know if I would. I might would like not put the outline on the A down here. Like you have it. It looks like it's not outlined up here. I don't know. The outline on the A almost makes it a little bit too like messy or cluttery for my taste. So you could like just put the outline in the red part of it. Like if it's in this square, it's outlined, and if it's outside of that, this gray stuff is not outlined, is how I would do it maybe. Again, that's just a preference thing. I would make like this cutout a little bit smaller because they're pretty close in size. Everything is kind of like similar in size, so it's like a little hard to guide the eye. So I might like make this smaller cutout a little bit smaller and show some more of this picture maybe in the background. And then SEC Champions, I like this little effect you did here where you change the color. That looks cool. Alabama Crimson Tide, I think that looks pretty good. I would just take that fully out and like set it on the white. One more thing is maybe like don't get his feet quite so close to the bottom of the graphic. So, I mean, this graphic is smaller than the template I have up right now, so there's like a little edge right here. But usually you want to like have stuff go over the edge like you have here, or have it like way away from the edge, if that makes sense. So this A is like maybe a little bit too close. It could be fine. It's not that bad. But his feet are like probably a little too close for me. So I would like move him up, or move like the whole, floor or grass up that he's standing on as well. Just because I wouldn't have his feet so close to the edge of the graphic. Lastly, I would color correct the two cutouts to look the same. So if you look at the front guy versus the back guy, the front guy's like jersey is a little more orangey red, and the back guy is a little more like purpley red or bluey red, if that makes sense. It's like very subtle. And then like the front guy has more of like a yellow highlighted skin tone, and the back guy is more like dark and I guess more of a blue tone. And so you might just be able to fix that by using a color balance. I don't know, there are a few ways to do it. I would probably use a curves layer and a selective color layer, and like putting them on this guy and then just matching him to this guy. So it's very subtle, but you definitely want to make your cutouts match. So like you want to make these reds match, and you want to make their skin color match. I guess if they're different players, the skin color doesn't matter quite as much, but kind of like the tones and highlights of everything, like you can kind of make it match. And usually you want it to, like, even if they are different people and might have like a little bit of a different skin tone. When you're working in sports graphics, a lot of times you just want everything to like match well and make it look like they're all in the same environment. So I don't know, something to think about. Moving on, we have Hater Productions. Is it Hater Productions? Hater Productions. You got some cool stuff. TJ Watt graphic, super clean. I like the texture in the background. You have the like sort of lens fairy look. It's very simple. I don't even know if I would put the like blurry Watt text in front of him, just because it's almost like the only element in the graphic that's like distracting from the main part. Like if anything, I would do it in like more like 2 places instead of just one, because you have like a good solid, like, you know, clean graphic where everything's centered up. So I would just kind of keep it that way, unless you're gonna like kind of balance it out with something, you know, up high or like in 2 different places. The shadows look pretty good, fairly realistic, I guess. You could probably mess around with the lighting with him and just give him a little more like depth, because it all looks kind of flat right now. So yeah, that's something you could tweak, but you know, pretty simple, pretty clean graphic. The Bryce Young graphic looks really nice. You know, you have like the 3 cutout look that a lot of designers use. I use it pretty consistently. And the logo in the background, very subtle. The stadium in the background, and the city. So everything looks pretty clean. Like, I love the background. I love the texture of the background, that like grainy look, like with the glow. Like, I think it looks really nice. Yeah, super clean. Like, this is where you want to be. Not, I don't know where you are in your design journey, but for a lot of these people that are starting out, that have like way too much stuff in their graphics, simplify it like this. We want to see more stuff like this. So yeah, it looks really good. It's really clean. Maybe one thing I would do is, like with his skin again, it looks maybe like too over edited. Like, it's kind of like patchy, and it has some weird discolorations in certain places. So I would try and like fix that and just make him look a little bit like cleaner, if that makes sense. I'm not sure like how high quality photos these were to begin with, so sometimes that can be hard when editing. But like the coloring on everything is very consistent, so that's good. Yeah, I think, like, I would say to create depth, you could put some drop shadows behind each of these, but because the graphic has this glowy white theme, I would just use some like white brush to like brush behind him and like maybe behind him to give like that pop of like glowy separation in between each cutout. So that'd be my advice there. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Josh Allen graphic. This is a pretty sick graphic. It's very simple again, which is great. Put him in the jungle and he looks like he's supposed to be there for the most part. The glow looks really nice, and you put like an effect on him that makes it look like, you know, it's glowing onto him. So everything's looking good here. I think the one thing I would fix, because he looks like he's really there, his hand is a little bit too bright and white, and his towel is too probably. So like this lower half of him that's like on the ground probably needs to be darkened up a little bit, because everything for the most part looks like it's supposed to be there, and the top half of him looks like this light is like glowing onto him. So yeah, a lot of good stuff here. Basically the only thing I do is just darken up like his hand and this towel, and you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, this is a super nice looking, like, simple graphic. This is like the style that I've been stuck on recently, is this realistic, you know, putting people in certain places type of feel. So thanks. Haters equals motivators. Dave Stewart. Why is everyone's graphics a different size than my background? I guess I always use like Instagram sized backgrounds. But anyway, New Heights poster with the Kelsey brothers. Let's see. So first off, I like the idea of what you did here with the red and the green. But I think I would tweak that to make it a little... I would probably just like take out all the other colors except for red and green on both of these, because you kind of have like some weird like pinky bluish colors, and we don't want that. We just want red and green, I feel like. That's what I would do. I would like put some lighting and shading on the two cutouts you have, like darken up the bottom half of them, probably put a layer mask on them, and do like a gradient up. Oh, wrong thing. Like put the gradient here, fade them up like that. And I mean, the text is kind of cool. Everything could just be blended a little bit better. And then like the locker image you have in the background, that is obviously a stock photo that, that you took off of Google. I mean, you know, I would just figure out a way to find an image that doesn't have like watermarks on it to use. But yeah. On to the next. We have a navy graphic. Let's see. Okay, so I would fade the water into the sky, maybe, because I don't like that there's like a hard cutoff. And this submarine is kind of like oddly placed, so I would put that somewhere else or like take it away. This logo just kind of looks weird in the background. So I would either take that away or move it. And this cutout is like way over edited or something. I'm not sure if it's like super low resolution or quality, but I would find like a better photo to use on this. The text is cool. I like how you like made it wavy. I would like make them both wavy in the same way, because they're kind of like they're on different waves right now, and it makes it look a little bit messy. But the font that you used is pretty cool. I'm not sure what font that is, but that is a cool font. And then a thank you graphic. So I would use I like the cutout here, and then the thank you. I would use like a different text or something and put it like behind him somewhat. I'm not sure what this is, but I probably wouldn't put that there or like blur it as much. I'd probably just take that out. And it's also very close to the edge, so you don't want stuff that's like close to the edge like that. And for the B photo, I would just use a higher quality B, because you can just like see the pixels in this, so that doesn't look good. I'd probably put a gradient over the background so the background looks cooler than it does, just because that yellow that you're working with there doesn't inspire, if that makes sense. So I would try putting a gradient on it, make it go from like a hot yellow to a blue, like cold yellow, whatever. So thanks Dave Stewart for sending that in. Sean Kim. Sean sent a bunch of like commitment style edits. So I'll just like go over one and just give you my thoughts on like this whole thing. So a lot of people make these like commitment edits like this, and I just think personally there's too much going on. And if you're trying just to be like a guy who makes commitment edits, then like, you know, maybe this is what you want to do, and that's fine. But for me as like a designer, commitment edits are just not what we want. There's just too much going on. Nothing looks like blended together well. Yeah, it's just too messy. So I would like simplify things like I showed you, or like the guy did earlier in this video, and make everything look like it's supposed to be there. For instance, like this cutout and the background have like very different looks. So use different effects to like blend everything together like it's actually supposed to be there. But yeah, I mean, for commitment edits, they're good, you know, like you just see a lot of the same stuff. So if you want to go down that route. Like, it seems like you're doing a good job for what's asked of you. But for me, it's just not my style. So thanks, Sean, for sending those in. On to Moose Work Loose. I don't know if that's your name. So first off, we have a Dante Wilder graphic. Looks pretty cool. I like the 2 photos you used. So like, first off, I would take away this shadow here, or just make it softer. It's kind of like, it's kind of just harsh, and it makes him just look like a crispy hard cutout, and I don't like that. Like, it just makes him look like this like picture that's like cut out and just like slapped on top of the graphic. So if you're gonna use like shadows, I mean, they can be tricky. Like, I would use, like, in this instance, I would probably use a softer shadow to you know, just make it a little less contrasty. And then I'd probably, like, this light that you have at the top of the graphic, I would like use that as a light to where you can light the edge of him to make him look like, you know, he's actually there, like he fits in to what you have going on. Honestly, I like this photo that you have here in the background, but I would either take it away or maybe move it up to the top and replace this other like arena photo with it. But other than that, I think that's a good place to start. For this next one, this looks pretty nice. I think the bottom left cutout, I would just drop that. Just because, I don't know, I'd either put it somewhere else or drop it completely, because I think it would look good like without him, because you have like this cutout right here with this, you know, background behind him, and then you have the bigger cutout with the background behind him. And this is just kind of like this random LeBron face that's like, so yeah, I'd probably remove that or make it big and put it like up behind him somewhere or something. But really, best case scenario is probably you just move him, you just take it out. I like the photos. You use like really high quality photos. It looks like this photo of his face is a high quality photo, even though I would take it out. It's a nice photo. I like the lens flare things you did here. I think they work because of the background and because of what you have going on, and just like the vibes of this graphic look. So I think it's pretty clean. I think if there's anything I would do, it'd just be like that, like lighting and shading on the cutouts. And other than that, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. This one's really cool. Like, this is like a different style graphic that like something I need to do more of. And sometimes like I can get stuck in just like having the same layout basically. So it's a really cool idea. Like, you have this really nice photo up front, and he's got like, it's a really high quality photo. Like, you can see like the texture of like his skin and hair, which really I think just automatically makes a graphic look like more eye-catching and just better than one you're gonna see that's like super cluttered and has like a bunch of terrible quality garbage going on in it. Yeah, I like how you have him like sitting on the E. I think that's cool. You could probably work on like the shading of making that more realistic, or using 3D text. I have some videos on how to make 3D text, so you could check those out. There's a lot of ways to do it. And in this one, I would maybe try and do that. Or if you had like brushed away like some of his upper leg, I think that would like make it more legit and kind of sell it a little bit better, even though it looks like pretty good. But it could be better. Could always be better. So I don't know if you did. Nope. Hard brush. and then brushed it away. So it kind of looks like he's sitting up there. So I mean, somewhere maybe in between those two, but like if you had 3D text, like that would look pretty good. I like, you know, more of him showing, but it also kind of just looks like he's like sitting on front of the E a little bit. So I'd figure that out somehow. I really like the stuff you have going on in the text. Like I think that's cool. It's very clean how like it's just white text with this like cutout of a building in there, and then the little cutouts you have outside. I think that looks good. And the gradient looks good. So I'd maybe use that to put lighting on each of these cutouts and this car. And then also I might fix his hat a little bit. It looks a little like rough around the edges, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Again, if you guys want your photos or graphics critiqued, send them in to this email and let me know you're a patron, or if not, go to Patreon and you can sign up. And also if you're a G Squad member and you want a video of a graphic critiqued, let me know and I'll try and hook you up with that. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm so lonely.